The bulls are trying to make a comeback. What's going on, everyone? Jeremy Hritz here. Courage pays better than fear trading. Another episode of Driven, real world trading. No suit and tie, no sitting behind the desk. This is reality here. And the markets are green right now. And let's catch up. I published my market preview yesterday. There was optimism bubbling because the potential resolution of the government shutdown, which that seems to be, they have an agreement in place. You had some Democrats who are willing to vote for it. So it looks like that's going to pass. And as a result, we saw a big move higher in the markets today. We saw futures pop. Bitcoin and the crypto space was moving higher over the weekend. And what resulted here at open is at one point, the SPX was up 80 points. Now, we are retracing a bit right now at the time that I'm recording this, but we know all moves in the market aren't straight up. We know that in the market there are pullbacks, even intraday, right? And that's where day traders make their profit. But let's see if the bulls can hold on to the strength that they exhibited this morning. Now, from a technical perspective, the SPX, the Qs, and for those of you who are watching who aren't familiar, the SPX represents the S&P 500, the top 500 most profitable companies in the US. The Qs, that's the technology index, that's all your big tech. And they really give you insight to sentiment in the market. They are currently above their 10-day exponential moving average, which they were down below it after the drop that we had last week. Over 3% on the SPX. I think we hit 4%. I can't recall specific numbers. I do know that we did hit a 6% dip on the Qs, and the bulls gapped it up today, and they have to close this thing above the 10 if there's going to be more room for a push higher, a year-end rally. So watching to see that. But if you go back to the US-China tariff candle from early October, you could see that when the recovery started, there was a little bit of choppiness around that 10 where it just kind of moved sideways before we finally broke out. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of that through the rest of the week, because there are still other shoes to drop. All the data that I talked about in previous videos, that's all going to be released. We're going to have to see how that's going to happen, because if it's just a big dump and they put it out all at once, that can have some significant ramifications for the market. So we want to see what happens there. But the bulls did step in where they needed to. Beautiful setups last week with those hammers off of significant support, 50-day simple moving averages. And so let's see how this week plays out. Again, November, historically the strongest month in the stock market. Last week was supposed to be the strongest week of November. We didn't get that seasonality, but we've kind of flown in the face of seasonality all year. So let's see if this is the beginning of that year-end rally, the Santa Claus rally, all those things. And one thing that I'm watching is for sustenance in the move higher from Bitcoin and crypto, because every time it seems like it's getting a move, it gives back its gains, it stalls. And to me, I'm watching that as a risk on indicator to see that, hey, people are comfortable stepping in and buying and pushing this thing up. And we have today, again, possible little dip retracement. We did see a lot of those gains given back on BTC, Ethereum, all the others. So I'm going to be watching that closely to see if that flips, pushes back up positive, because I do think if we are going to get a year-end run, we need to see crypto participate. I just think that that's something that has to happen. So We shall see. And it's a Monday. You guys know that I'm a Steelers fan, man. I stayed up and watched that game last night. It's just, they're an average team. And Aaron Rodgers had one of his worst games in his career, and he saved it for prime time. They just got shellacked. So I'm a beat up Steelers fan today. Not fun, but such is life. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Driven. Don't forget about the free trading psychology class that I'll be kicking off this Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I hope that you will join me. The registration link is down in the description. And if you guys need anything, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Do you have a question about what's happening in the markets? Do you have a question about individual tickers? Use me as your resource. I'm here to help you. And oh yeah, I see that I have red on. This is I'm not a bear, perma bear. Just happen to have it on. But does it foreshadow more weakness coming? Who knows? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have a magnificent Monday. Let's make this a great week. And as always, make it a great day and honor the moment. Take care, everyone.